Good afternoon. My name is Tonny Bosch from the Netherlands, and we have a saying in Holland about a strange duck in the water. I don't know what it's in Sarvi, but that means I'm a traffic and transportation planner. So about talking a traffic and transportation planner talking about quality of urban space. Okay, I will do my best. I will try to do it short, and I have 40 slides. So fasten your seatbelts, please. This is the front of a policy study in the Netherlands from the 70s, and it was from the Ministry of Urban Planning. And I like the image because it's about, on one side it's livability, on the other side is accessibility. So what we slowly were learning in Netherlands, that when you go for 100% on that side, well, you destroy cities. And I can assure you, we as engineers, we have destroyed many parts and many cities in the world. You know the examples. But also, we improved, and now we are finding the balance between those two issues. And I'm very optimistic about that we are learning, all of us, and that's why I'm so, I find it so courageous that I'm invited at this Congress. So compliment to all the ones who are responsible for invitation. My company, very short about what we are doing. In fact, we are doing strategic networking. So that means that you are planning networks for public transport, for cars, but also for walking and cycling. Second place, that we have a tool. We must have a tool to prove that what we are doing has the impact what we are wishing. So, and this tool, the Move Meter, it's interactive, so you can do it with stakeholders. I heard that word before. In real time, so you can sit on a table with 20 stakeholders, and you can. It's in fact SimCity. Yeah, that's a big improvement. And the last issue, what we are doing a lot is knowledge transfer, because Holland is, I think it's a nice laboratory situation on multimodal cities, and I will explain you very little why. But we bring under that knowledge transfer, we bring groups from the United States, from Iraq, from Iran. We bring them to the Netherlands and show them around in 4 days. How did we do it? What are the issues we are still learning from? What are the troubles, etc., etc. But the basic thing at the end of a week like this, with a lot of discussions and showing mayors' discussions, is that people are going inspired back to their own country, and every country is different, but also very much the same. So these are the 3 pillars of my company. Then the next one, yeah, that's about the long process. And it's of course longer. It doesn't even start in the 70s. I just learned from the previous one that we have to go there, and then we come, 1970. That was the year I started as an engineer. So it was about very technical issues like road safety, noise pollution, congestion. Hey, Mikhail Barty, who is this? Are you there? Oh, good. Road pollution. And then, I think, after all those different sectoral issues, we knew how to do it. We had a feeling, hey, when we work together, we also improve in our skills as engineers and become kind of a traffic and transportation planner, become an urban planner, become knowledge about environmental issues. So we call it integrated planning. And that was the moment when I thought, wow, I have done maybe 40 Dutch cities. I want to go abroad. And I do that since 7 years. And I can only tell you one thing. I should have done it 20 years before, because it's really fantastic to be in Tehran and the next week in Mexico City, for instance, and to do your consultancy job. Maybe one intermezzo about the Netherlands. Maybe you know, 60% of my country is below sea level. It's a delta area. So we have to fight against the water, otherwise we simply drown. That's the biggest enemy is water. So our cities are built very compact because of that defending wall and water management things against that the sea. So that's one big unique selling points for cities, compact. So that means also that when you are walking or cycling, you in 5 minutes or 10 minutes cycling, you're almost at the edge of your living area. And the second one is, we are not born on 4 wheels, we are not born on 2 legs, we are born on 2 wheels, cycling. So these two issues make that around the globe, they think, hey, how do those crazy Netherlands people, how do they do it? We want to see it, and maybe we want to take over some issues from them. You're still there? Am I going too fast? That's good, eh? Okay. From that planning mission, I learned as what I told you, a starting engineer, that it's a big trap to only dive into hardware. So hardware, I mean building bridges, building highways, building this, doing this, all over the place. And then at the end you look back and say, hey, that was not the idea. We should have done other things or better things, combine it. So the organization part is at least as important as the hardware part. So governance, I heard that also before. Institutions, how do you work together? National and local, for instance. And also, the third circle, so to say, it's about culture aspects. When I go to Africa and I say, hey, you all have to cycle, also the ladies, then I make a big mistake. Wow, ladies on a bike. Maybe in Iran, it's also still delicate. So you must be aware of what you can bring from other places to the place where you are working. Also the fact of education. In my country, it's normal that kids from 12 years old, they are taught, of course, how to cycle. And when they are 12, they get a diploma. So there's a real policeman, and they have to cycle, they have to go, I go to the right, I stop, blah, blah, they have to do everything well, and then they get a diploma. And that maybe you can imagine when you were a kid and you were 12, you get your first diploma, you go home, mommy, daddy, I did it, yes. So that's about kids, but also now we have a lot of, we are not in big trouble, but of course the integration of Syrian people, people from Morocco, it's from Turkey, that brings some difficulties. But what we did well, I think, was that we did that education with the same diploma. We did it also for people, elderly people who come as new Dutch people in my country. They are going to get that diploma when they prove they can cycle. So then you get the same reaction. It's really emotional when you see it. Wow, I did it. And it can be a lady from 45 years old. And that means from that moment on, they feel, hey, I'm a little bit part of this country or of this city. This one, yeah, quality of urban space. For me, in cities, it's also the fight for space, because the balance, when you go all to motorized transport, it uses a lot of space. Look, this is a very good slice, I think, because this is the space a car is using for parking and for driving. And the production in terms of the amount of the numbers of cars which are going through one lane, it's 2,000. So when you jump to walking, it's 19,000. Look, that's, what is it? It's a lot more. It's almost 10 times more. And they almost don't use any space. So in between is cycling, public transport. So for me, it's a learning effect that in a city, it must be multimodality. So there must always be a mix of public transport, car system, walking and cycling. In a Dutch average city, the model split is 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. And that gives a lot of space, you can imagine, because you win that space instead of 95% going by car. And that's examples exist. Los Angeles, they are not to blame, this American city. They try to facilitate car and car use. And they built a city, it's like this. And I don't know what to say about the quality of urban space in this one, but I know one thing for sure. When I did a workshop over there to try to develop together with them a cycling network, because now they realize, wow, this is crazy. For 600 meters to the mall to buy some hamburgers, why should I go by car? I want to go by bike, or I want to walk. So we had to develop that cycling network, and I always ask, what's the center of your city? Where do you feel where your heart is? What do you think the whole work group in Los Angeles said? We don't have a heart. So then I thought, wow, this city it's almost lost. They have to do a big transition very soon, otherwise people don't want to live there anymore. And it's not only that they have a car around their home, but they also are using it. And now I don't know what to do. Push the enter, eh? Push enter. Yes. That's impossible. 5 minutes. I take some from the previous guy. No. Okay. No, then I skip that slide. When you go for instance, for 80% car use, you get situations like this, urban chaos, and I don't know where it is, but you recognize. We want quality like this in our cities. I have 2 cases, one for Utrecht. Oh, she's not there. Shh. And the one, hey, it's you again. One for Utrecht and one for my city, Deventer. I go fast. I told you about the defense against the water. So this is the image of 2,000 years ago. This is evolution of bus station, the station of the train and the bus. This, I think it's in the 60s. So it looks, wow, good. Then you get the next one. Wow, the cars, look what we did. We bought American cars, too big, of course. And then to destroy that fantastic station. And whoa, we were trying to build these ones. And then I make a big jump to the next one. Look, this is what we have now. It's a multi-model. The trains are running there, the buses are here. Cycling, parking is for free and it's there, and people can walk here in a fantastic area. So I really am amazed how fantastic this area is. Please come and I will show you around. In the inner city, that's the good thing about this case, Utrecht. Of course, this is an old picture, and it's old, and nowadays it's the same quality. So somehow we managed to keep it away from the implementation of the car system. This is an old days picture. Maybe you recognize it a bit, because when I see old pictures from Tehran, I can, of course it's black and white, and I see old trucks but also you see a lot of people walking around, walkways everywhere. So walking is still an important mode. Another old picture, but nowadays, of course, traffic jam. And that means for the Dutch, that was finding the balance between accessibility and livability. We had to plan. Reorganizing the network for cars, for instance, you can imagine that this is the old inner city. We don't want this traffic going through that area of the old city. We added it, so we moved it. The long trips have to go out of the vulnerable areas of the city. And in Holland we have a saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that's what I see in many cities, but because what I mean with planning, it's also a long-term vision about your city. And long-term can be 20 years further. How will Tehran look in 20 years? And then we go backwards to what can we do tomorrow to make a first step towards that long-term planning. And important in this one is the zoning. This is, we call it zoning. And you say, this old inner city, the priority should be here for walking and cycling. The car is just small guest to deliver something. And in the other areas, here is the car dominant. And this area is from the university and the hospital, and this is the new city center on the west side. So this is the basic map which everybody knows in this particular city. And also what is important, this is now our ring road, and they are now returning, transiting, make the transition towards a boulevard, a green boulevard. Thanks to the fact that this one gets more flow, more capacity, etc. And then you get, of course, you get in the inner city areas and close to the stations, you get completely new initiatives and pilots, like this shared space. Can we combine cycling, walking, and a little bit car in one profile? And for now, till now, the answer is yes. But it's very interesting to see how it works. This is inside that fantastic station. And this was, really, it was a highway in the city center. And this means we have to do something in Dutch. Niets doen was geen optie. And nowadays you can see this is the safest place, but it cost a lot of money to make that transforming from that highway towards this one. So for Africa, and even maybe for your country, please make it in one step. Plan it in one step properly, that we don't have to do it 2 or 3 times. Shall I go to case study? Yes. You're still there, or shall I finish? Okay, then I skip this one. I do it very fast. 1 second per slide. Okay, this is David. This is the square. Now it's the square like this. Look, really. And it's only since 12 years ago that it's a square again. Fantastic. Of course, you try to plan it. Old thing again. This is parking. Tomorrow they will skip this parking as well. So it's because you cannot do everything in one phase. This is parking underneath, so on top you have a fantastic platform for walking, cycling, quality of urban space, so to say, and the parking issue is solved down, and they have to pay for it. Oh no, I have to. So now I'm on my conclusion and my finish. Isfahan, engineer. Me, when I go back to engineer, would I have the courage to make something here through this one as a highway or a cycling route? Of course not. Nobody does. That's why it has so much quality that it also was in previous presentations already. This always comes back and say, okay, you. People are walking there, but this one. This combined with that fantastic square, it's really. The structure, it must be somewhere in your mindset how you create very good and multi-model cities. Look, we copied this from you. We said, okay, we have a ring road. And this, it's a little bit, because of the water, it's not completely a good circle, but the basic principle is all the car traffic goes around. And when you go in, and you can only go out again. So in this whole area, I think there are living 60,000 people. It's only walking and cycling, and when you have the car, you only can go around this ring road. So, and it works really fantastic, because 60% of all trips are made by non-motorized transport. And it's the highest score on safety, road safety. Why are we doing this all? It's not only for flowing and capacity. No, it's also for health. We learned a lot of issues. That is healthy cities, moving. People are getting too fat. That's why the Americans want to cycle and learn cycling from us. We also, of course, do it for economics. Also for pollution. Good air, it's so important, and I know in Tehran, you are suffering for it. So when we succeed in making better cities. Also for Tehran, that means better citizens. Hey. Thank you.